Hi.
Hi,
All right, I'm
Leeza.
on.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no. I mean, I know that cat artists are always, usually my favorite ones. I always say, you're my favorite artist. Well,
Oh, that's so
yes,
sweet.
if you're a cat artist, you're my favorite artist.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I have lots of favorites, so I don't know
I
which is
do.
one.
I do. Okay, Lisa. Let's see.
Happy Cat Day.
Happy Saturday, everyone. It's just like everyone, because you're one, and then there's two people. But it's gonna be posted on Instagram anyway, so
Yeah, that's
that
sweet.
doesn't really worry me. And I just started this as a um, it's part a something that I wanted to do with cat artists and animal artists, and just because I am one, I just wanted to know what drives people to paint animals, to see if we had the same madness somehow in common.
Yeah.
So okay, so we have Leeza Hernandez. She works as an editorial art director by day and entrepreneur the rest of the time with her freelance small business, Leeza Works, LLC. Throughout the course of her career, Lisa's illustrations have been published in magazines, newspapers, and children's books. She runs an Etsy shop featuring her black cat illustrations, and most recently saw the release of her debut fabric collection with Dear Stella Fabrics Le Chat Noir. All right, that's good. And do you have a fabric there, a piece of fabric you can show
I'm
us?
actually, yes, modeling one of the pieces right here, the cat
That is
heads.
nice.
This.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a collection, 5 different designs. The hero design, as I call it, which is the main feature design, is the cat in the laundry.
Wow.
So that's this one.
Of
And
course.
it was a black and white collection. So
Okay.
we also have this secondary design, which is the check, having a meowment, which is the
Meow.
stacked black cats. And then we have this one, which is I can't forget what we called this one. Oh my gosh, how terrible of me. But anyway, this one just features lots of cats doing lots of cat things.
Beautiful.
And then we have a couple of coordinates. So this one is checkmate, although it probably would have been cutely called check me out, as well as the cat heads, which is behind me. Right. And then I recently had done a giveaway, and we paired it with Dear Stella's, one of their house coordinates, which is the moonscape in the lemon yellow. So
that's great, Lisa.
The yellow with the black and white. But anyway, so yes, thanks
Wonderful.
again for having me today.
Oh no, yeah, it's fun, and we can even make mistakes and everything. It's just
that's the beauty of life.
No pressure.
Right? Yeah.
That's the beauty of life. Yes. Okay, so congratulations on your fabrics. They're just fantastic, and I know they're gonna be very successful. Why black cats?
Why not?
Why not? I always say so. Why not? Exactly.
Cats to me,
it's just...
I guess, I don't know, maybe I was a cat in a past life or something. I don't even know. But cats have been a part of my life ever since I was born. In fact, my grandmother had cats. My mom has had cats. We've just, there's only probably, if I were to add up the time frame, I would say in my entire something years of existence, there's only probably what amounts to less than 24 months in my lifetime where I have not had a cat in the household. Usually there's multiple cats. Sometimes there's one. And there's just something to me. I mean, I love all animals, regardless.
Me too.
Even the scary ones. I might not get close to them, but, you know, I love the animal world in general. But with cats, for me, I think they're so fascinating. They're so sarcastic. They run the show, but they can be cute and sweet, and they call the shots. They're hugely independent. I don't know. There's just a lot I admire about them, but they also fascinate me no end. I love their curiosity. I love their language and how they speak to each other animals and humans too. I don't know. They're just cool cats.
Totally, totally. It's just wonderful personalities. First,
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that answers my first questions. What do you do? What do you do? So that's it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they're just there, and they always have been.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And okay, since when have you been doing art?
since I was like probably 9 months old. I do a lot of school visits, and whenever I go into the classrooms, and it's a lot of elementary age kids, and I'll say, they usually want to know, right? So I'll show a picture of me as a 9 month old, and I've got crayons in my hand, and I was caught drawing on the walls, as most babies, toddlers are, and things like that, and it really has never stopped. I just spent many years, certainly as my childhood, going into sort of my teenage years, just trying to figure out what form of art I really wanted to follow. But I'm always changing, and I think that's the beauty of being an artist, is you don't have to stick to one thing, right? So
No.
whether it's three-dimensional, whether it's clay, whether it's paint, whether it's design, whether it's anything really, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's been there almost as long as I have, I guess. I think I came out with a pencil probably in my hand.
Probably. Did the quarantine affected you as much as like other people? Like, for example, in my case, the lockdown just made me like look for other art styles and explore. And it's just like I didn't have. I mean, I didn't have to go outside, so it was for me being inside and not having an excuse for not attending a meeting or something. For me was just fantastic. So I'm not sure if that happened to you as an artist.
Well, so I have a regular day job, and it was in an office, but I have been very fortunate because my job is computer based. So when lockdown happened back in March, we we were doing some in office um, work for a while, but then eventually the building that we were a part of did close down, as you know, a lot of other places did.
Yep.
And so we were able to set up remotely, um, and I was working from home 1 day a week anyway. So I feel very fortunate because I haven't been too, with regards to the work, in that sense, I've been able to work from home and not
And
be
still,
not yeah and still kind of do what needs to be done in order to pay
exactly.
bills and things like that. And I know I feel so much for so many people who have been affected by this in other ways, where their job is more physical, and you know, not being able to work breaks my heart to see
Yeah.
this happening.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So yeah, I mean, I count my blessings every day because I'm able to keep it going. But with regards to artwork and other mediums, I haven't really had much time because I have been busy. So, you know, plus as well, if I get too caught up in a new project and I'm experimenting and things like that, it takes me away from deadline projects and things like that.
Of
Because I'm
course.
juggling a lot of
Of
things.
course.
So it's just trying. If I get on those kinds of paths, I get too distracted, and it takes me away from the priorities. So I have to work really hard at staying focused. So I
Even
make a lot
harder.
of lists, and I have to stick to those lists. Yeah.
Maybe even harder because you're at home and it's just like too many
Yeah.
distractions. Exactly.
Exactly.
How do you, okay, first, oh, no, no, no. How do you define your art style?
I guess whimsical could be a good way to describe it.
Whimsical, naive.
If we're talking about my cat art specifically, I would say definitely whimsical, a little bit cheeky. I think it's minimal. I try and keep it as simple as
It's very
possible.
simple and
Very
nice. Yes,
simple,
it is. It is.
modern, a little more on the graphic side of things.
That is, yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
is like simple, but it just communicates what you need to, gets the
right.
job
So yeah,
done.
exactly. Like
It is.
sometimes that less is more approach, you know.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Okay. How do you feel? No, no, sorry. Your art first impressions, like what did people say about your art when they first saw these black cats?
Well, so up until the lockdown, I was participating as a vendor at cat conventions, which is where I would sell framed prints, and I'd have those all on display. And more often than not, I would say 8 to 9 times out of 10, somebody would walk into my booth space and say, "Oh, that's just like my cat Mo," or "That's just like my cat Mr. Tinkles," or and then especially with the cats in the plants ones, and they'll be like, "Oh, my cat does that all the time." Those are usually the first reactions. And
That's
then every now and again, I'll
wonderful.
get somebody coming in saying, "Oh, this I like this style of art because it's so different than something a little more on the traditional side that you typically would see on the convention circuit, perhaps." So that's really nice. Like somebody who likes the more modern sort of minimal take, as opposed to something that is a more traditional or painted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That. How do you feel when you're creating?
Depends. If I'm on a really serious deadline, I could get a little stressed, and I have to focus and deal with that. But I'm still loving it.
Of course.
I would say I think it's a happy place. I think it's just, especially the cats, especially the stuff that I do for myself, for my Etsy shop and for the conventions. Um, I think it's just where I'm most comfortable. So I'm happily just tinkering and potting around in my studio and thinking about my cat's behavior, thinking about cats I've had in the past, thinking about my friends' cats, and just sort of what other antics or cat antics that they get up to, and capturing that through sketches and things like that. So I'm constantly thinking, processing, but I'm always happy doing it.
It's a wonderful place to be. Yes. What would you change about the art world?
Oh, that is such a
It's hard.
loaded question.
It
It
is.
seriously is and I've been thinking about this a lot recently. So I think that there are so many different facets that I feel are so important that we are not going to have any time to talk about in full depth right now. I will say one of the first things I think that is super important, that needs addressing, not just domestically, but internationally as well, is copyright protection. Um, and just there aren't enough penalties for people who violate copyright of artists' work, and I see so many people getting ripped off, and I've been included in that recently, which came as a huge shock to me. And it's very distressing. It takes your mind and focus off of so much until it's resolved, and it's just horrible. It's such a violation, and it brought up a lot of reaction and emotion for me. And I know that copyright violation exists. Intellectual property is, it just seems there isn't enough to protect artists, especially artists where they're a party of one and it's their small business, but their entire livelihood relies on that business. And then there's someone out there, the other side of the world, who thinks that they can just come in and help themselves. And it's just so wrong. And it's just, there just needs to be more to protect artists, I
Yeah.
think. So that's something I would love to see more development on in the future, and now, like I just think there's not enough protection for that.
There's not, and
Uh,
you can actually take an image and just enhance it,
right,
and do whatever you want with it. And
right,
it's just, I mean, my message to people is that if you find a T-shirt with a nice design for $1, that design is probably stolen, because I mean, if you go to these stores, I'm not going to name them, but we all know who they are. They have been stealing designs from everyone, and it's just like, they don't care, because they're like, they produce like millions of the same item, and they
right,
lower the price, and people will just go and get it. You know,
exactly. Artists
so
get taken advantage of like that, and
yeah,
it's
exactly.
just, it's really painful to see. It's
Hmm.
painful to read about, hear about. It's also painful to have to go through that too.
Yeah.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
wrong.
what's wrong with the world is just lack of
One of the
respect.
things.
What? Well, yes. I mean, lack of respect in every sense.
Right.
Every sense. All right. So, how has technology and social media impacted in your art? You don't
Technology and
use
social
technology
media.
so much. Oh, for your
Well,
fabrics, yes.
I would say so for social media, I'm just on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really. I mean, I have a Twitter account. I can't remember the last time I checked it. I just find that I like the visual aspect of Instagram, and
It
it's
is. It is
easy.
good.
I mean, it's in the name, right? It's instant. It's like I can
It's
quickly share
instant.
a sketch or something happening that I feel is worth sharing, or a new piece of art that's going up in my Etsy shop. It's a great way for me to just kind of get the word out, because the people who typically follow me have a vested interest in what I'm creating. We have something in common, and more often than not, it could be kids book stuff, or it's usually the art for the
Yeah.
cats.
Yeah.
So I just I've tried to not get too caught up in feeling like I have to post at certain times of certain days. I understand there's best practices, but I have to do what's right for me. And so that's why I'm only on one social media platform, because of the way that my day is structured, or days are structured. I only have a certain amount of time for each of these things. And so I try to not beat myself up about if I'm not able to make a post one day, that it's not the end of the world. And I'll just, and that's
Exactly.
why I was so late in posting my Happy New Year message, because I've just, for the first weeks of the year, been so busy that I just, and the thing is, it's like when I post, I don't want it to be frivolent. I want it to be meaningful in some way to someone.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be better about that. And also, there are times where I just need a break too. Because we all get sucked down the rabbit hole of social media.
Exactly.
So I pick one platform, and that's where I focus my energy, but it's not the be all and end all of my existence. And so
That's
the reels and things like that, the latest, right? The algorithms give preference to reels and whatnot. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with reels. Like, I just, even just the live, like I've done a couple of live Instagrams this week, and I still don't know what I'm doing. It's just like, okay, I'll just wing it. One day I might feel like I know what I'm doing, but
that's a great way to manage your social media.
Yeah,
no pressure, and enjoy it, and just be truthful, and you get organic followers, of course.
That's it. It's just that whole trying to just alleviate yourself of the pressure of feeling like you have to do this, and that if you don't, something bad.
No.
That's let's not go there. Let's just do it because you want to do it, and because you feel it serves a purpose, right? So
exactly, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you encountered any barriers or obstacles during your career as an artist?
Well, I think being an artist, I think just being an artist in general comes with challenges, whether it's creative block or life changes, whether it's even just something as simple as moving. I don't know. It's like I'm about to embark on a new move, and we're moving a long distance, and I got to start packing, and I'm surrounded
That's so
by
stressful.
It's like I don't even know where to begin. So with the artwork, I don't want to say there's anything that's really been a barrier or an obstacle. I see them as challenges, but I also see the positivity in embracing the challenge. Things that usually will put me out of my comfort zone, and rather than shy away from that, I'm trying to be better about opening up to it, and usually when I do, something really great comes from that, with regards to learning something about myself, my artwork, the people I do or don't want to work with, all of that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's always barriers and obstacles, but it's really more about, I think, how you deal with them, and just gotta push forward. So
exactly, that's the way. Okay, someone said here, inspirational work, both of you. Thank you, the Bones of Troy Jones. Thank you so much. Okay, what's the importance of cats? You already said that. Tell us about, media or technique. What media do you use?
So I have a couple of different, everything starts off by hand. I draw everything by hand. I make all my textures by hand. I have an ink brayer. I'm rolling out inks. I'm screen printing. I do all sorts of textural markings and things by hand. And then I draw my shapes out by hand as well. So, and then I go to Photoshop. I'm not using Procreate. I wouldn't consider myself a digital illustrator because I'm not using a library of brushes, digital brushes.
As a support only.
Or anything like that. The only thing I'm doing really is piecing it together in
Of
Photoshop.
course. Yeah,
and
support.
I will manipulate colors, but beyond that, I'm not using it as anything other than a collaging tool. So it's a digital collage of handmade pieces.
Exactly.
So I call it sort of a fusion, if you will, of traditional and digital media.
Perfect.
The final result is usually a JPEG. But having said that, I also paint and I also screen print. I use gouache, I use acrylic, I use pencils, I do pencil portraits, you know, for the cat work as well. So it really kind of depends. But the main bulk of what I do, that what you'll see either on my feed or in my Etsy shop, is going to be coming from that fusion of hand created shapes and sketches and things and textures fused into that final digital file.
That's great. For us, I mean, like on Instagram, it's great to see the artists' processes, how we do what we do. And I mean, it's not only engaging for people, but it's very interesting to see all the process that an artist does until the final project is ended. So that would be a great video for you to do if you wanted to, if you had the time. Just
I have
put it there. And
way back in the early part of my feed, I do definitely have some of that.
It would be interesting. Yes.
Yeah, I personally love watching process videos of other artists. It's almost like you're just in their brain with them, right?
Yeah.
And you're going through that with them. Yeah, it's really cool. But thank you for this. Yeah, I should probably do more.
Yeah, because people will think, well, this is very simple. No, I mean, the idea of simple doesn't mean that it's easy. It's just not at all. There's so many things. There's so many things behind it. Okay, tell us about Nigel and Hamish or Hamish? Hamish.
So, okay, yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. So here's Nigel behind me on the shelf. So he is my signature black cat. And basically Hamish is the fur real life cat that was more than 20 years ago now. I adopted him when he was a kitten, in fact, almost right after birth. There were two. It was an all black and an all white, and I ended up taking them both. And so the black cat was Hamish, and Husky, she was an all white fluffy cat. She was really pretty too. And I had them well into their 20s, and I was living in the UK at the time. And then when I moved here, my dad took them in, and then my sister as well helped out until they're no longer
they
with
passed.
Us, right? So that was good. Hamish, he was such a character. So I don't know, he just had this look about him the whole time that was sort of like, what? And these big round yellow saucer eyeballs. And he was completely crazy. He would just suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, would just run around the apartment, just over everything, up the walls, down the walls. He'd stop, he'd look back at you and do it all again. And one year I remember we used to have an open fire, and one year he's over there sniffing, and then he's looking back at me as if to say, what? And all I see is smoke coming up off his tail. And I can smell this singeing fur. I mean, thankfully he wasn't harmed in any way. I jumped right into action. But I just like, that's the kind of cat he was. He just didn't care. And he was so aloof to it all and oblivious. And but just really brought so much joy to my life because he was so crazy. And he just, I don't know, that was Hamish. And everybody knew it. Everybody who came to visit, that's what he was. And he always knew the non-cat people, and he would go and literally sit on their lap and just stare at them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's why Nigel has that flying, almost almost like flying poster. I mean, a pose.
Yeah,
Nigel, yeah.
yeah, that's it. He's always in action.
That's
And
oh
somebody really nicely put it on my feed the other day and said how nice it is that Hamish lives on through Nigel. And I thought that was a
yeah, it's
really great
true.
way to say.
It's
So yes,
immortal.
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Nigel eventually because I
Yay!
just
Thank you.
mean I mean first of all I love cats. Black cats are just my weakness. We have a black cat that's just so beautiful and shiny. I mean, they're so funny.
They are.
So yeah, I just love black cats.
And the one thing I noticed when doing the cat conventions was a lot of the customers that were coming to me said how hard it is to find black cat art. And so they just, would say, keep doing what you're doing. We're so happy
Yeah,
that you're doing this. And, and what I also am really happy about being able to do too with my art as an artist is give back a little bit. So, a portion of proceeds of the sale of Nigel, the plush, I donate that to different cat shelters and rescue
okay.
centers
That's great.
throughout the year, and just to help cats in need, because
Yeah,
right now I'm not in a position to do much more.
but
I'm not set up in an apartment well enough to foster and things like that. We have limitations on the number of cats you can have in the
yeah,
apartment.
of course. Hmm.
So this is a way for me to give back, which is really nice too. So
Yeah,
so
it
it's,
is
it's
through
got like
art. Yeah,
double purpose.
that's what I call art with a purpose because you can just help out. I
Right.
mean, help out your foundations with art. Okay. What music or podcasts do you listen to while painting?
Um, the music, it's mostly music, and if it's not music, it's audiobooks. Um,
Audiobooks are great too.
so depending on what phase I'm in on a project.
Mhm.
Hi, Misha. So for example, if I'm on a super tight deadline, I listen to music like AC/DC because it just keeps me supercharged. I'm pumping Pepsi. I'm like, I'm right on the wire and I have to get it done. And that's what keeps me going and motivated. If
Exactly.
I'm in an early stage of a project and I'm just noodling around ideas and just sort of thinking about, say, right now I've got some new fabric collection ideas that are sort of milling around in my brain that I'll put on something a little more mellow. So it could be some very sort of soothing lounge house kind of music, or it could be something classical or jazzy. And then with audiobooks, it really depends. I go through phases of audiobooks where I'll listen to like 10 in 1 week, and then sometimes I go for periods of time where I'm really not listening to too much. With podcasts, I don't listen to podcasts as often, and the ones I've been listening to most recently have actually been interviews with artists or illustrators. So
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Has your art changed over time?
Yes, I would say I've been really focused on keeping everything like minimizing as much detail as I can so that I allow the character and the piece to really tell the story. And I think that stems from being from illustrating children's books over the years. So just I used to have a lot more line work in my art, and so I always felt like I was drawing an outline and then coloring it in, and that's not the effect that I really wanted. So over the years, I've been trying to step back from that and really allow the textures and shapes to do all the talking for me and for the work and for the piece.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, and I
Great
think
process.
also working on my color palettes, like really trying to create. And it's funny, I was just talking to a friend about this morning, just sort of having a signature library of colors that I would say are signature to me and the work that I do, as opposed to just kind of plucking any color out of thin air.
Misha, have you listened to Windows Sill Chats?
No, but now I'm going to have to.
Me
Thank
too.
you for the tip off.
Thank you. Thank you, Misha. Okay.
Oh, by the way, Misha's work is amazing. I don't know if you
I have to
checked her
follow
work
her
out.
then.
I have this really beautiful scarf that has some cats on it, and I have this gorgeous little dish.
Maybe we'll get her in a live.
Beautiful work, yeah.
Maybe we'll just get her then.
Yes,
on one of our Gatos talk show. Okay. Let's see. What kind of art do you like?
All art. Oh my gosh, like, again, loaded question. Where do I begin? I mean, I love to go to
Thank you, Misha.
museums and look at art from back in ancient Egypt right through the ages. I mean, there's certain types of art that I gravitate more to than others, usually textural, limited palettes, more abstract. I certainly love abstract work, anything from, you know, Picasso, Paul Klee, Matisse, some Matisse, yeah, definitely Matisse, of course. So it varies, but then modern day artists too. I don't know, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. I love all art, and then what I try and do is, rather than figure out what the artist is trying to say about a piece of art, especially fine art, I like to just go with my own interpretation. And if it makes me happy, then that's good.
That's it. Yes, of course. Okay, let's see. Describe a real life situation has inspired you. Of course, Hamish.
Hamish.
Hamish is just a real life situation. What do you dislike about the art world? So you already said about the copywriting. What do you like about your work?
My work? Oh gosh, that's
Yeah,
think about
it's
that.
hard. It's
What
hard.
I like about it? I mean, just recently, I think I feel like I'm making the kind of art that I want to make, and it's not necessarily just for other people. Sometimes you can be asked to make art. Obviously, when you're doing commercial art, you have an audience, you have a market, right, that you have to feed into. And I think when I first started out, I was making so many different types of art because I wanted to make money. And so I'm now fortunate enough to sort of make the kind of art that I want to make. And we've already talked about what that is, with it being whimsical, a little bit funny, a little bit cheeky, minimal, simple, storytelling, you know, all those sorts of things. But there's a lot of things I don't like about my work too that I'm still working on. I wouldn't necessarily call it like bad art, but just I know that there are certain areas of my work that I want to improve upon, and so I try the best to do that. So
yeah, Misha
thank
says
you.
I think that's of course it does, of course.
So many nice comments too. Thank you so much for commenting, friends.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you have a question, you can just we can just answer
yes, ask away.
All right, your that's already done. What is your dream project, or if you have one, like?
Well, I think, again, you know, I think an artist's brain, or at least my artist brain, never stops thinking about future projects. I think, you know, you're about to complete one, and then you're already thinking about the next one. And I think when I'm working on one project, it fuels what I think I might want to do, and it's almost like a form of brainstorming. I think, as I'm working, thinking about all these other things, and then something will happen, you know, one of those happy accidents where you get an idea and then it's like, oh, well, what if I did this, and this, like, what if I played with that? And then that leads to, gosh, that would make a really great stationery line, or that would really, I would love to see this as a home decor collection of
stationery. It's just would be great.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I know I've mentioned Misha before, but you know, I love her work so much, and it's like, to me, what Misha creates in her style, it's like I hope to someday aspire, or I aspire to it now, but it's just like one day I hope to have my own collection of little trinkets and scarves and things like that. Like, I just think featuring my own cats, like I you know, and it's a process, and so I'm hoping that I'll get there one day. So I'm on Illustrators for Hire. It's a website, and it features illustrators from all around the world. Such amazing talent over there. It's incredible.
Wow, I'll
and Nate
check it out.
Nate and Sally, who run it, you can go check out their Instagram feed. It's incredible as well. And they just recently had done this sort of, you know, what's your goal for 2021? Like a dream project. And it took me a while to think about it, but then it came to me the other day, and it was like, you know what? I really would love to see the Black Cat collection expand into stationery and home decor. So that would be wonderful. So I guess you could call that a dream project, Adriana. I think that's what I'd like to see happen soon.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
tell us about your animal companions. Do you have a cat with you, or?
So yes, I have a gray and white tabby called Jasper. He's about 5 years old, and you know, he's not a lap cat. He's not he'll lay beside you, but he's not a lovey-dovey, lay all over you kind of cat. But he likes to be near you. And then recently, we have under our wing at the moment, we have another little floofy cat called Pippa, and she's a ragdoll. She is, we don't have them in the same room together. They're still under separation because she's still new. We've only had her 2 weeks, and we rescued her. Sadly, her human partner passed away, and she went into a temporary foster where it wasn't really a good situation, because there were other cats in the house that kind of didn't take to her very well. So we said we would look after her. And so we are following the Jackson Galaxy step-by-step guide of integrating the cats together. So we're in week 2, and we are starting to bring, we're starting to do what they call the site swapping. So it's like where you switch rooms with them, but they haven't actually physically seen each other yet. It's a process, but we're hoping that it all goes successfully, that the Pippa stays with us as well. She's so cute. She's very fluffy.
She will eventually. There's another cat behaviorist that's really good. His name is Daniel Quagliozzi, and his handle is Go Cats Go. He's very good. He's in San Francisco. He's very good as well. He takes care of cats online, of course, as they do now. But he's helped a lot of people. Okay, I
have to say, real quick though, I love how there are so many resources out there to help. You know, especially when you're integrating cats together, that you don't just throw them together and expect them to work it out. No. You know, it's very stressful for them as much as it can be for you, especially if fights break out and stuff like that. So I love that there's all these different resources. So thank you for that one.
And also 2 crazy cat ladies.
Yes.
They're fantastic.
They were at CatCom this year. Yeah. They had some really good tips. Yeah,
they're really good. Okay.
Well, last year.
Favorite famous cat, real or fictional, and why?
Well, let's start with fictional. So Felix, obviously.
Of course.
Garfield, come on. Pusheen is, you know, I think
adorable.
I admire the creator of Pusheen and just what she's done with that character.
And
we just exploded globally. That was incredible.
And the simplicity of the character. The simplicity is just Choco Cat.
Choco Cat's one of my favorites.
It's too beautiful. Mine too.
Black Cat. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
So, and then, oh gosh, there's lots of Instagram cats that I just follow and love.
Oh yeah.
You know, everything. There's Cole and
I can relate.
There's Nala Cat. There's Beast, the Maine Coon. There's so many, and I know I'm not going to be able to cover them all, but I don't know if there's one single famous cat. I love all cats.
Oh, me too. It's just like
all of the above.
I don't know. I maybe follow like over 2,000 accounts, and I'm pretty sure about 1,500 are cats.
I have so many cat videos
and some dogs as well. I just love all animals as well. So, okay, where can we find your merchandise, your stuff, everything?
My merch. So basically, for prints, you can go to my Etsy shop, which the link is in my bio, but it's basically etsy.com/shop/LeezaWorks. Anything is LeezaWorks, pretty much.
Exactly.
My website has a small shop. There's not a whole lot in there, but you can get Nigel in there. You can get Nigel on my Etsy shop too. The plush. That's pretty.
And he comes with different outfits.
Sometimes. So you can buy him naked, right? Great. Like here, where he's just the plain.
Can
Nigel.
You show it? Show Nigel to us.
This is naked Nigel. Woo!
Yay!
It's very soft.
Zooming all over the apartment.
And then I do Nigel, and I thought I grabbed one, but anyway. So the signature yellow jumper Nigel. So he's that Nigel, but then he's wearing a little yellow sweater.
I know.
Like
Yeah,
this.
I've seen it. Oh, that's
I
cute
thought
too.
I had him here. I don't know what I did with him. And then I also have a series of little bow ties. This one is made out of my cat heads
Your fabric,
and checkmate fabric. This one's going to a winner from my giveaway from before the holidays. And then I'm just about to list something for Valentine's.
Oh, so cute.
Oh my God, these are so fun. So this is, I work with Michelle over at Highland Knits, and she's a local artist and knitter. And so we work together in kind of coming up with these ideas for different seasons throughout the year. So she had created some Valentine sweaters for me. So these are going to be going online very soon, hopefully tomorrow. So.
Oh, great! Let's all get a Nigel and help cats as well.
Yes, please.
Well, Leeza, this has been wonderful. I hope to see you again soon, sometime.
Yes, thank you again.
And
thank you so much for inviting
I really
me.
love your art, and I know I hope you get your dream come true.
My dream projects.
Your dream project, which I'm pretty sure, because your art is very like appeal, to the stationary world and to the home already. You're doing fabric, so that's home merchandise. So that's gonna be and maybe something something to wear, maybe scarves and stuff like that. That would be great.
And actually I've seen a lot of quilters who are who have been posting and tagging me on things, and it's amazing what these beautiful quilters can do with
endless
with fabric. It blows my mind. Yeah,
endless.
So
and I hope to see your personalized color palette, because I see behind you, you have like coral and teal and black.
Yeah, I would say that the yellow as
the
well.
green.
Like, in fact, if you go onto my Etsy shop, you can get
course.
a sense of my signature.
Yeah, I can see green, yellow, orange. The teal is like a grayish blue.
Yes.
It is very nice.
Like
very
a
clean.
Blue.
Very clean, yes. Well, Leeza, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having
this
me.
is going to be posted on Instagram, on YouTube, and that's it. And I will just list your links so people can see your art and get it.
Thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions at all, just shoot me a message, DM me through Instagram. I try really hard to answer all my messages, so always there and happy to answer.
And there's at your account, there's the email and message.
Yes,
they can just contact you if they wanted to.
And you can message me, right? And you can message me.
Of course.
Stuff
I
too,
emailed you through your
thank you.
account, so no problem. Well, thank you so much, Leeza.
Thank you.
Bye.
Again.
Have a great Saturday.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.